Thanks for joining me, Ben Borsht, and welcome to Catch Me. I'm going to make a chicken jus. If you watched the segment earlier where we broke down the whole chicken, we had a chicken frame left over and I've grabbed the wings off that chicken as well. So guys, we're going to make a chicken jus, which is getting those bones and the frame from the chicken nice and browned off. We're going to use a pan in the oven that I've already got heating up, and then we've got a mirepoix of vegetables, which is shallots, celery, carrot, and we're going to use a little herbs of rosemary just to get that flavour really imparted nicely. So to begin, we're going to cut up this chicken. We're going to start with these chicken wings, a nice sharp knife, a nice heavy knife, and we just want to break up these bones. Going through the joint, both joints, we're going to use the tips, and then using the base of the knife and just being a little bit careful, we're just going to hit through and break up those bones. We just want all the flavour to come out of this chicken, so breaking up the bones is really important. If you don't have a nice heavy knife, you can ask your butcher to do this for you, and he probably has bones already broken up, or from most supermarkets now you can buy a meat cleaver, which is nice big heavy cutting tool. So just going down through the joints, and then we're just going to knock these bones apart. We don't want any skin in the jus. There's just too much fat in the skin, and it'll make our jus too oily. So just using the bones, a little bit of skin's fine, but not too much. So we've got the chicken carcass here from before, and what we'll do is we'll just tear that skin away. It should come away nice and easily. Just use your fingers, get it in there, and pull the skin away from the chicken. You can still keep that skin, make some nice lovely crispy chips out of that skin. There's not much else to do with that. You could wrap meat with the skin, and you know, you're creating a bit of a sausage. If you did a chicken mousse, it's always something nice to do as well. A nice sharp knife, getting down through those bones. So we're just working the back end of this chicken now. Lots of pressure, and a nice sharp knife should go through those bones easily. Probably always best to do this in someone else's kitchen, so you don't have to clean up. Now that we've got all our chicken broken up, we've got a lot of lovely bones there. I've had a pan heating up in the oven, and we're going to get that out now to get our chicken into. So it's a nice hot pan. We'll just use our board. You can hear that lovely sizzle. Give it a bit of a toss. We've got the chicken bones in the oven, and we just need to wait for them to get beautiful and golden and caramelized. We've got our veggies ready, and we need to get them caramelized. The easiest way to do that is in a pan. I'm just going to start with our carrot. You can use the whole carrot and all the veggies. Any scraps you've got are perfectly fine for this recipe. So just a nice quick rough chop. they can go back on the board for when we're ready to get it all going. Stick of celery, same again. Nice roughly chopped. Don't need anything in particular here. And we've got some lovely shallots. Shallots just give a nice sweetness to the jus as well. A little less harsh than brown or red onions. And again, just a rough chop for the shallots. Just a chunky dice, they don't have to be the same. Alright, now time to start caramelizing our veggies. We've got some beautiful Cobram Estate extra virgin olive oil. Guys, if you want all the exact measurements for these recipes, just check out my ebook and you can have all the recipes on there. We want that nice sizzle and we need a good caramelization, almost a burnished caramelization on those veggies. So this is very similar for any other jus that you want to make, lamb, beef. It's the same principle right the way through. Your mirepoix veggies are essential, but you know, you can use anything, any root vegetables to replace the carrots, parsnip, celeriac. Celery is a bit of a key, and you know, any kind of onion that you like. Making a good jus is just taking the time to really develop that caramelization on the vegetables and on the meat bones as well. Getting that good color will just envelop that flavor later on. If you do start to see them burn, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to ruin the jus. We just really need to get them nice and caramelized. We don't want a weak tasting jus. You really want to knock people's socks off. We don't want gravy anymore. We want this beautiful, luscious sauce. This sauce would go really well with, you know, roast chicken, however you want to prepare it. If you want to do a family roast, you can do a lot of this sauce up for the family. Or if you're just doing it to impress your girlfriend or your wife. I know my wife loves it probably more than she loves me. Just check on our chicken. The chicken's coming along nicely. Definitely looking to get that really caramelized and brown. This pan probably is a little bit overloaded, but I think we're going to get there in the end. That oven's really nice and hot, and that's what it's all about, keeping that temperature up. We will get there. I started first cooking jus when I was on MasterChef, and yeah, I mean, being able to produce a sauce like this has really taught me a lot about cooking, and you can sort of take all the principles of making a good sauce and put it into anything. Even if you're making lasagna or bolognese now, I will always roast off some tomatoes or chilies, and you know, you can do exactly the same. Get some caramelization on your vegetables, and then puree them, or you know, really developing flavor early on will give you a better result with your meal at the end. All right, I think we'll start bringing this together now. We'll get that chicken out of the oven. It'll be nice and caramelized now. And there's lots of beautiful juices in there as well. We'll definitely keep. We're not going to put all these bones in here. We want to save some to bring the flavor together at the end. But what we will do is take all that juice, all that beautiful chicken stock, that's in that pan and add it to our jus. We'll get that pan back in the oven and let those remaining bones just finish off. We're going to let all of that chicken stock just reduce down, reduce right off. That's not going to take long at all. Just give everything a nice stir. That's really looking yum. So we've got our wine in there. Our wine's almost reduced right off, and that beautiful chicken stock that came from our roasting pan before. We've just got some store-bought chicken stock. You can make your own, but you know, we'll make it easy on ourselves and we'll just use some store-bought stuff. We don't need all of that. We're not feeding the whole family. We're just wanting a little bit of sauce just for us. The key with this jus now is to really reduce that sauce down as much as possible. We want a nice thick sauce, breaking up those bones if you can, breaking up all that meat and really reducing that down as hard and as fast as possible. Obviously you can take your time with this. You could spend hours making a jus, making your own stock, which is very simple. Same deal with the carcass that we had from before. You can make stock with the same sort of veggies, boil it down in some water. And that would be much better than using your store-bought packet stuff. Then we'll give it a little bit of salt and pepper. If you are using packet-bought stock, always buy the salt reduced, so when you do reduce it down too much, it doesn't go too salty. If you need to, if you can see a lot of fat rising to the top, there's not a lot in this. You can skim it off just using a spoon and discarding that fat. So our jus got to a point now where we can strain off all the bones and all the veggies, and we just want to keep that beautiful sauce. So I've got myself a strainer and a small saucepan. We're just going to do a bit of interchanging. So straining off all that, trying to keep it all inside. The strainer is always best. Just getting that liquid back into the saucepan. The sauce is really boiling off now. We want that to really reduce quickly. The sauce is looking beautiful and luscious now, guys. You know, we've got that reduced beautifully. We're going to get some bones back into that now from the oven. They're the remainder of our bones. And those bones are just going to impart the last bit of flavour. Now to really impart that roasty flavour, we'll probably give this another 10 to 15 minutes just to let it reduce. We're going to strain it off again and then add some butter. Okay, our roasted bones have imparted all their flavour and our jus is reducing really nicely. Just give that a nice little stir. You never end up with much sauce, so if you want to do bigger quantities, guys, you're just going to increase it. This is probably enough for 1 to 2 people. Okay, we've got that to a point now where we can strain that off again, removing those roasted bones, and we're just left with that beautiful sauce. What we're going to do now is just whisk in a few cubes of butter, just one at a time, and get that beautiful richness running through the sauce. So once that cube's gone, you can get another one going. And again, guys, for all the measurements of the jus, check it out in the ebook. Really getting that butter to emulsify in the sauce. All right, I think we're done. I can smell that's really smelling beautiful. Give it a little taste. That's beautiful and rich from the butter, but that's just such a lovely sauce. Beats any gravy I've ever had. So there's the jus, chicken jus. You know, that's just such a luxurious and beautiful sauce. I think it could pair really perfectly with a nice piece of poached chicken. We'll check that out next. Thanks for joining me. Download my ebook for all the full recipes. Catch you later.